Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Advective Weather live stream. We have a particularly dangerous situation that is currently unfolding here in the state of Wisconsin. This is south of Madison, heading in the general direction of Evansville, but we have a damaging, dangerous tornado on the ground that's warranted a particularly dangerous situation tag from the National Weather Service. So again, this is a particularly dangerous situation. Our tornado is currently south of Stockton. This thing is heading right in the direction of Fulton, might head just north of there, and it's going to cross the 3990 corridor here between McFarland and Milton. Between McFarland and Milton in the state of Wisconsin. So this is again a particularly dangerous situation. This is something that we never want to see, and unfortunately, despite it being February, this is exactly what we're seeing. So just bear with us here for the next little bit as we get everything figured out here. But unfortunately, again, we do have a very dangerous situation that's unfolding. So I'm just getting some stuff up here so we can look at, with the highest amount of accuracy possible, what exactly is going on with this storm. But here it is. Let's go over the warning now. And where I have circled here, this is where the tornado is. This is just to the west of Fulton. This is just to the west of Fulton. It's south of Stockton. Here's the warning. So this is for northern Rock, southwestern Dane, and southwestern Jefferson counties. So this thing is currently in Rock County. It's in Rock County. It's to the west of Fulton. This thing is big. This thing is dangerous. And this is a weather spotter confirmed, what the Weather Service is calling a large and extremely dangerous tornado. It's past Evansville. It's moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So Dunkirk, Stockton, Fulton, Edgerton, Albion, these areas, everyone in these areas needs to be getting to their tornado safe place. That's the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room, preferably a bathroom or closet, something of that nature. But again, we have a large tornado. It's this deep blue right here. This is a large, damaging, dangerous tornado that's on the ground. We can take a look at the rotation of this, and you'll notice there are the greens, there are the reds. For those of you that have seen this before, you know that that's indication of rotation within this storm. Now, I believe it was considerably stronger as of not too long ago, and yeah, there it was. It was very strong. It doesn't look quite as strong on the radar. That's the good news. The bad news is we're still looking at a dangerous situation, and we're still seeing a debris signature, which means that this either is currently or has, as of not too long ago, lofted debris up in the air. So again, this thing has lofted debris up in the air, and this thing still looks robust. So unfortunately, I think we're going to be seeing this on the ground for a little while at least, as this is a favorable looking storm in a favorable looking environment, unfortunately. So hopefully this thing will die down fairly quickly, and then we can just move back to just normal operations and not really have to worry about the future when it comes to the weather. But for now, this is definitely a concern. This is something that needs to be taken extremely seriously. So again, that's a particularly dangerous situation in place. So if you're in Rock County near Fulton, if you're near Edgerton in Rock County, those two cities in particular, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. That's the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room, preferably a bathroom or a closet, something of that nature. But again, this is a dangerous storm. This is something that cannot be taken lightly. So please, please get to your tornado safe place. If you know anyone here that's within the places I just called out, please send this stream to them. That way we can get the message out and hopefully save lives. But again, National Weather Service declaring this a particularly dangerous situation due to the strength of this tornado. And my goodness, I mean, there's the debris signature. So this thing is north of Fulton now. We're not sure how far north. The radar doesn't show exact location. It can be off a little bit, but this thing is north of Fulton, near Edgerton, near Albion, Hillside, Busseyville, Glen Oaks Beach, North Shore, Black Hawk Island. All of these areas are in tornado warnings. So please take this seriously. Get to your safe place. This cannot be taken lightly. So Let's just go over in more detail the locations impacted. So again, it's Rock County, Dane County, and Jefferson County. It's a particularly dangerous situation with a damaging, dangerous tornado. So the following locations are going to get impacted. That's Whitewater, that's Stockton, that's Fort Atkinson, Jefferson, Lake Mills, Milton, Edgerton, Evansville, Johnson Creek, Cambridge, Lake Ripley, I'm going to butcher this, Koshkonong, Fulton, Albion, Herban, Utica, Rockdale, Busseyville, Cooksville, and Indian Ford. Indian Foot. So if you're in any of the locations I just called out, there is a confirmed damaging tornado on the ground. This thing is on the ground, and there are storm chasers to prove it. You can search up Vince Welty in particulars on this thing, so you can search him up, put his stream side by side with ours. You'll be able to see it. But this is a damaging tornado. This thing's on the ground. We know for a fact it's on the ground. That's what this is telling us. So this is a thing called cross-correlation or correlation coefficient that allows you to see how uniform objects are in a storm. So what we're noticing is that the data here, especially right here over the rotation, that's telling us that we have a circulation producing a tornado because we know that there's a tornadic circulation there and that the objects aren't uniform. Rain is pretty uniform, so it's debris, and then it's starting to fling that debris to the north and west. So, again, that's a dangerous situation that is unfolding there. So, please make sure that you're in your tornado safe place. If possible. And if you're on the road, that's getting off the road, that's going into a sturdy shelter. That could be a gas station, but it needs to be a sturdy building. If you're in a mobile home, those aren't going to fly. You need to get out of your mobile home. This thing is too dangerous for that. Most tornadoes are, so if you're in a tornado warning, you need to have a plan to evacuate your mobile home. Outside of that, we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. That's for 1-inch diameter hail. These storms appear to have winds under 50 miles an hour, so the winds are not at severe limits, but the hail and tornado potential has most certainly hit and exceeded those severe limits. The good news with this thing is it does look like there is a storm cycle going on. So this is likely going to continue to weaken here over time. This current tornado, however, it looks like this could be what's doing what we call a cycle. There's some inflow moving into the storm now, and we could see a new tornadic circulation more towards Fulton. That's why these tornado warnings can be so extensive, because even though this circulation is moving north, we could see new circulations crop up within the same storm. So anyone that's in this tornado warning, except for I'd say Union and Evansville, I'd say you guys are in the clear. But if you're near Fulton, Edgerton, Albion, those areas, all those areas that are to the west of the 3990 corridor, and then to the east, anyone that's to the east of the 3990 corridor, that's Fort Atkinson, Jefferson, Johnson Creek, Oakland, Koshkonong, all within this warning, you need to be in your tornado safe place. And again, that's the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room, preferably a bathroom or closet, something of that nature. Be sure to bring pillows, blankets, things like that with you to protect yourself from flying debris. And I want to get a storm track on this now real quick. I want to get a track on this thing so we can see what exactly the timings are for the places in the path of this. So let's track this out. Okay, so this thing is moving at 45 miles an hour. We'll say 50 just to be extra safe. So the following areas could possibly be in a sorry about that. The following areas are in the tornado warning, and here's the timing for them. So Albion in 4 minutes, Glen Oaks Beach in about 8 minutes, Busseyville in 9 minutes, Carcajou in 10 minutes, Koshkonong Manor in 11 minutes, Lake Koshkonong in 11 minutes, Koshkonong Mounds in 13 minutes, North Shore in 13 minutes, Minnehaha in 13 minutes, Black Hawk Island in 14 minutes, Fort Atkinson in 18 minutes, Jefferson in 23, Herbian in 27, and this thing is still going strong. This thing is still going strong. So this thing is right over just about Albion at the moment, unfortunately. So if you're there, you need to be in your tornado safe place. This thing is over you, and unfortunately, the correlation coefficient, our debris tracker, showing lots of debris getting lofted from this. So unfortunately, I think we might have just seen a direct hit in Albion. So hopefully everyone there is okay. If you know anyone there or in the path of this thing, that's Fort Atkinson, Jefferson, Oakland in the state of Wisconsin, please send them this stream. It has life-saving information that can let them know where the storm is, where it's expected to go, and what to do in the event of that. So again, Albion, that's where this thing is right over. This thing is right towards Edgerton Park, Glen Oaks Beach, Busseyville, North Shore, Oakland, Black Hawk Island, Cushionong Mounds, Cushionong. If you heard any of those areas, you need to get into your tornado safe place right now. That is not something that's negotiable. You need to do it now. If you're in Fort Atkinson, Jefferson, Herban, you have a bit more time. So it's get to your tornado safe place, but before you do that, if you can, that's bringing things like a helmet, hard-soled shoes, pillows and blankets down to your basement to protect yourself from flying debris or that interior room on the first floor of your building. If you don't have any of that, then get straight to shelter. It's important to get to shelter quickly, but there are some extra things you can do in the meantime if you are pretty much to the east of Route 26. If you're to the east of Highway 26, then you have a little bit of time to do some extra actions to protect yourself from this tornadic storm. Bad news is this thing still looks like it's going strong. The good news is that hopefully the environment's going to start to die down soon. We'll see, but this thing looks monstrous. If we go back to reflectivity, I mean, there it is. You can see a hook. This is wrapping around the storm. It's rotation, and in the center of that rotation, that's where we're seeing our tornado. And there it is. I mean, my goodness. That looks classic, unfortunately. So let's see if we have our new debris data. And yeah, there it is. That debris still holding. Still holding just to the east of Albion at the moment, near Busseyville, near Glen Oaks Beach, near Edgerton State Beach Park. This thing's heading towards Oakland, Lake Ripley, Fort Atkinson, Jefferson, Johnson Creek in the state of Wisconsin. Let's see, I want to see something here. So I'm trying to look at the tornado debris, see how high up in the air we're getting with it. And it appears that we're getting about 8,000-ish feet. But we could be getting significantly higher than that. Let's see. What's this? That's 19,000 feet. Yeah, that seems more right. So, yeah, this thing is chucking debris over 15,000 feet in the air, likely, again, above that, 17, 18, maybe even 19,000. Everything I just looked at. So if that doesn't put into perspective how strong this tornado is, I don't know what does. We don't know the exact winds of the tornado. We don't know the exact strength, but we do know that it is lofting debris tens of thousands of feet into the air. So no updates from the Weather Service at this time regarding this tornado. However, some good news on my end is I'm seeing it does look like it's weakening a little bit. Still, though, regardless, this is a particularly dangerous situation. Again, with that particularly dangerous situation, that moniker only given to some of the stronger tornadoes the Weather Service sees. So let's just go over this morning again. So this is for northern Rock, southeastern Dane, and southwestern Jefferson counties. Now the tornado is out of Rock County. It's no longer in Rock County. So anyone that is in Rock County, I'm going to give you the all clear from this specific tornado, but that does not mean to go out of your tornado shelter. There's another storm that has a similar hooking feature near Fulton. There's large hail with that. There's still some dangerous hazards. So until the Weather Service puts you out of that, I would stay in my safe place. However, the tornado threat, the worst has passed you. Albion, the worst has passed you as well. The worst has not yet passed for Oakland, Jefferson, Fort Atkinson, Cushionong. So if you're in any of the areas I just called out, again, it's time to get to that tornado safe place. That's the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room, preferably a bathroom or a closet. And again, the Weather Service calling this a particularly dangerous situation. Considerable damage threat with this storm. 1¼ inch hail with it as well. That cannot be dismissed. Another thing with this, the Weather Service saying that you are in a life-threatening situation if you're in this warning. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. It's very strong wording from the Weather Service. Now, hopefully that's not what we've seen. We'll know here within the next little while as we start to get damage photos from where this tornado's path was. However, this thing is still going strong, the supercell at the very least. So we're going to continue to cover it here on Advective Weather for as long as we can. That's going to be for the next 20 minutes or so that I can do it until I have to go. But the good news is this does look like it is weakening considerably. We still have our rotational signature with the storm. That's just to the north of Glen Oaks Beach. It's just to the west of Busseyville. Now, apparently, unfortunately, Busseyville is probably going to get hit by this before this thing goes towards North Shore, and I'd say Fort Atkinson. That's a major populated area this thing is heading in the direction of. So Fort Atkinson, Jefferson, Johnson Creek, in your safe place. Same thing for Busseyville, Glen Oaks Beach, Hillside, I'd still be in my safe place. Albion, I'd still be in my safe place, and new velocity just now, and that does look stronger. It looks like this thing is struggling to maintain its structure, but it does look like this thing may be undergoing one last peak. This thing is still quite powerful, even if the storm itself is not quite as capable of maintaining it for now. This thing remains extremely dangerous. So, south of Oakland, that's where the tornado is right now. And by all indications I can see, it looks like this thing is still on the ground. I still have that debris signature. Still have that velocity couplet. There's a little bit of good news there, that we do have a couple of parameters that do indicate this thing is weakening. So hopefully that is exactly what's happening. If you know anyone here that's within the risk area, please feel free to send the stream to them. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything of that nature, please feel free to ask. I'll be more than glad to answer them. But yeah, it looks like we're starting to see what could be and hopefully are the dying stages of this tornado. It's moved through Busseyville. It's heading towards North Shore. And this thing is likely still on the ground. This thing still looks strong. The storm structure is the good news. This thing's probably not going to be able to be maintained for too much longer, but this could still last as a powerful tornado all the way to Fort Atkinson or Jefferson. So everyone in that area needs to be in their tornado safe place. Now, Albion, Oakland, the odds that you're going to get a tornado from this storm are very low. However, there is still large hail. There are still other threats with this. So for Albion, you're about to get some potential large hail. I'd be staying indoors. And I would personally stay in my safe place. Oakland, same thing. Large hail is about to move through your area. And we are also, again, seeing the tornado that's not too far south of you. But Fort Atkinson and Jefferson, the major areas next under threat from this potential tornado. Please get to your safe place if you can. North Shore, Black Hawk Island, Cushionong, Mounds as well. All those areas, please, again, safe place. That's very important because there's the tornado. There's the tornado. That's not far away. That's not far away at all. So if that's what we're looking at, how far away is that from you? This thing's near North Shore now. It's 5 miles away from Fort Atkinson. That's 9 miles away from Jefferson. So this thing, it's right on the doorstep. Is it weakening? Yes. Is it gone? No. This thing still poses a very real and serious threat. So, again, I'm not saying that to scare anyone, but I am saying that to put an emphasis on the fact that people in the path of this thing still need to be getting into their tornado safe plays. Um, the Weather Service still has not updated the warning, but they have maintained that particularly dangerous situation wording reserved for some of the stronger tornadoes, some of the more destructive ones. They did say complete destruction was possible with this tornado. Not so sure about that now. However, still a possibility. Considerable damage threat with this thing. 1 1/4 inch hail. It is nothing to scoff at, and um, again, Vince Welty had this. I don't know if he still does, but this is quite dangerous. Just taking a look at some of the latest information, let's talk about this tornado-warned storm. We'll start with where the rotation is. The rotation is near and has probably now moved over North Shore, and this thing is heading right for Fort Atkinson. So I cannot implore those in Fort Atkinson enough. Please go to your safe place. Someone in the chat asking, is this a PDS warning? As of now, this remains a PDS warning. Hopefully, that changes shortly. Everything I'm seeing shows good news. This thing is likely weakening a little bit. All right, the tornado warning has been updated. We're about to see the update on my end here. But this thing, it's still observed. It's still indicated to be on the ground. Let's see what the Weather Service has to say. So, they're saying a tornado warning remains in effect until 6:30 p.m. for northeastern Rock, southeastern Dane, and southwestern Jefferson counties. At 6:14 p.m., a confirmed large tornado is located near Lake Keshkonong, or near Fort Atkinson, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. They say this is a damaging tornado and quarter-sized hail. It's a radar-confirmed tornado. So if you're in any of the areas I've just called out, please get to your tornado safe place. That's Whitewater, Fort Atkinson, Jefferson, Edgerton, Lake Kushkonong, Lake Ripley, Albanon, Herbin, Rockdale, or Busseyville. So if you know anyone in those areas, or you are in those areas, tell them to get to their safe place, or you get to that. And again, it's the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room, preferably a bathroom or closet. And I do have some great news, folks, some great news. So unfortunately, that tornado debris signature has just come up again, which means Lake Kushkonong likely just took a pretty big hit from this thing. However, the velocity, the rotational signature, has fallen off quite a lot now. It's very difficult to discern. So hopefully this thing is weakening. Hopefully this thing is about to dissipate, but it has not dissipated yet. So those in Jefferson, those in Fort Atkinson, Cold Spring, even though we're talking about how this tornado is likely very late in its life cycle, that does not mean that it is not dangerous. We've seen tornadoes do EF3, EF4 damage at the very end of their life cycle, right before they've lifted. So just because this thing is near the end of its life cycle doesn't mean it's not dangerous. So please make sure you're staying in your tornado safe place. Black Hawk Island, Kushkonong Mounds, North Shore, Fort Atkinson, Cold Spring, Jefferson. All those areas. Safe place. That's what matters here. So if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, anything of that nature, please feel free to ask. I'll be more than glad to answer them. Let's see here. How fast does the Weather Service have the tornado moving now? 45. So we're going to go at 50. We're going to time this out again for you. So Fort Atkinson, you're going to get hit in about 5 minutes. Then we're expecting Helenville in about 16. So those are the areas that we believe are directly in the path of this thing if it continues its current trajectory. Now, with weakening tornadoes, they can wobble. So this warning polygon is quite large, so this thing could wobble outside of what we've drawn. So This polygon shows us the most likely scenario. This polygon shows us the area that should be in a safe place. I'd say up to Oakland. If you're in Oakland, Cushionong, Albion, Edgerton, um, you know, those general areas, it's a little different. The worst has passed you. I'd still stay in my safe place. But Fort Atkinson, Cold Spring, Jefferson, the worst has not yet passed you. So I would implore you to stay in your tornado safe place. With that being said, I'm going to leave it for questions, comments, concerns, anything like that for the next couple of minutes. Then I got to go. So it's unfortunate that we did have a stronger tornado today. Thoughts and prayers to everyone who's been impacted. But if there aren't any comments or concerns or anything here, I'm going to shut down the stream. Feel free to join our Discord server. The link should be in the description if you have any questions for me or for anyone else, and I don't get around to them on the stream. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching.